Hey guys, Brad coming back at you again. That's right. That's a vid 2 weeks in a row. Get your shock faces out. But I told you I'd try to be a little better about making videos. So I finally got a PC card in, and I got in a 2019 Donruss group break, which the last couple years, Donruss is actually kind of sneaky good. It's got some pretty good like vet autos in it per case and stuff. So for $70 a box, it's a decent little product, really. Perfect, really, for a personal rip or something. You get tons of inserts. So I bought the Chiefs, and I hit this nice Mahomes jersey to $2.99, and a bunch of Mahomes like inserts and stuff. So that was cool. And then obviously I was chasing him, but I was also chasing this guy. His stuff is semi-blowing up right now. Numbered 11 of 25. It is a one color because the ones to 25 are supposed to be patches, but it's a one color patch of McCole Hardman Jr. Did catch a touchdown in his debut in the preseason. But, yeah, people were high on him. So that was a pretty good break. I'm still waiting on a break. I have another break with the Chiefs that I think they split it up into two halfers. Of course, I bought them in the second half because I don't do like half cases and all that kind of stuff. And that's why. Could you imagine doing half case, getting nothing, and then the other half that comes out? That's why I don't do half cases. But so I'm still waiting on that. But I hit a Hardman auto in the first half, so we'll see. Hopefully, Mahomes is in the second half. But my PC edition, one of my favorite players here currently, one of our best players, one of our few. You guys know I'm kind of a sucker for the green parallels. Typically in Panini, not always, but typically green is numbered to 5, and that is the case in this. But they started putting autographs of him and stuff this year. It's at a certified potential, the green parallel numbered 1 of 5 of Xavier Howard. See, look at that green. I love the green. So, there you go. Xavier Howard. Bam, number to 5. Got it for 17 shipped on an offer. I was kind of surprised he accepted it. I was prepared to go a little higher, I guess. I'm the only one that likes the defensive players, I guess. But I was like, 17 shipped, numbered to 5. And for him, now he has a shitty auto. But that's a great auto for him. So, yeah, he obviously doesn't have on-card stuff to choose from. So this isn't a card I would buy for like every player that has like on-card stuff. But for a guy like that, it doesn't have much. For sure, happy to pick that up. And for $17, I think he's your 55th player on the top 100. Hopefully move him in the top 25 after this year. But, yeah, it was good stuff. Talk a little football. I see people, I'll do this one for Ed because I think he asked in one of the comments, he brought it up in his video. He was asking people how Nick Foles to the Jaguars would fit. I actually like the Nick Foles to the Jaguars. I like the Jaguars to bounce back this year, to be closer to what they were 2 years ago and not the complete mess they were last year. You notice it's been a lot quieter in Jaguars camp this year, which I think is a good thing. You have Foles. They bring a guy he's familiar with in DiFilippo. Now, remind you, I believe DiFilippo got fired because he wouldn't run the ball enough, right, in Minnesota? So we'll see what he does in Jacksonville. But now none of the receivers are number 1 receivers, but I like Keelan Cole, D.D. Westbrook. They got Chris Conley from the Chiefs. They got Jeff Swain from the Cowboys, athletic tight end. They drafted an athletic tight end, Josh Oliver. So I think they're going to have, why it's not elite weapons, enough of them to be successful. I think he's going to be all right. They have a winning record, I think. So if you have a winning record, you're in playoff contention. And that's what I think. I'm not saying they're going to be like 13-3 or something, but I can see a 9-7, 10-6 season for the Jacksonville Jaguars, absolutely. So I actually like that. A lot of people think Nick Foles is going to kind of revert back to what he was the last time he left the Eagles, which, let's face it, wasn't very good. But I have noticed, though, the only thing that concerns me a little bit is the injuries along the offensive line. Cam Robinson's still out. They drafted Jawan Taylor, who I like. He's banged up, I guess, so that could be a problem if they're not back at the start of the season. But if they're back, I actually like the Jaguars to bounce back this year. So another team I like that got a quarterback move that no one seems to like. Now, the Jags is kind of 50-50, but no one seems to like the Broncos. I think they might actually surprise some people. Now, they're in a tough division, so I don't think they make the playoffs, because you've got Chargers, Chiefs, Raiders. But people, like I saw one thing, I saw going 4-12. If they go 4-12, I'll be freaking shocked. But, I don't know. I think the roster's better than that. Joe Flacco, he sneakily just knows how to win. Joe Flacco, he's going to end up around 500 at least. It's just the way what Joe Flacco does. So, I actually like that to the Broncos, too. I thought that was a good fit for him. Because he throws the ball down the field. Cortland Sutton, I think, is going to like him a lot. I semi-like the Broncos as kind of like a sleeper. Everyone's down on them. I kind of like them. So, those are two new quarterbacks that I think went in good spots, and I think those teams are going to be happy with them. I really do. Let's see, what else? First round of preseason games. Oddly enough, the two Dolphins that they said looked good in camp looked good in the preseason game. Both Balaj and Preston Williams looked good. Our offensive line stinks. You can tell that right off the bat. So that's obviously going to be the downfall to that offense this year. But actually did some good things. Again, preseason, not. But you can tell the offensive line stinks. There's not much to see there. We're going to be a 4-12 type team. Not really relevant. Was there any big injuries? I don't think there was any huge injuries yet. I'm trying to think. I don't think there was any huge injuries. So that's always a good thing. There's going to be one, though, between now and the end of the preseason. But the rookie quarterbacks, Murray looked good on his drive. Daniel Jones looked good on his drive. Haskins made some great throws, and then a couple, what the hells, So that's what you would expect from him, but you could tell he's got the arm talent, man. That is not. He made a couple really good throws. I was like, oh, those are NFL throws, But then he just made a couple dumb mistakes. So we'll see with that, but you can definitely tell he's got the arm talent. So all the rookies, I think, showed you some stuff, even though Haskins with a couple turnovers. He showed you some throws, And that's really what kind of stuff I look for in preseason. So, yeah, Tannehill I thought looked better than Mariota. Logan Woodside looked awesome, right? But I still think Tannehill's going to end up starting in Tennessee at some point. And I wish him nothing but the best. He's a good dude. What else? Anything stand out? Nothing really stood out from the preseason that made me go, But the Browns' offense was clicking in that first drive, and they didn't even have everyone in. So people are excited about the Brownies. We'll see. I am not as high on the Browns as some people, and here's why. While they have made strides, they finally have a guy that knows what he's doing in John Dorsey, and the owner's letting him do it. That's all good. I hated the Duke Johnson trade to the Texans. Now that leaves you, what if Nick Chubb gets hurt in week 1? You've got a problem. See, if they are – because now you are in the conversation of, we're making the playoffs this year. That's your ultimate goal this year, make the playoffs. Well, if that's the case, remember, you don't get Kareem Hunt until like week 10 or whatever, week 9, whatever it is. He's out 8 games. So what are you going to do if he gets hurt? And that's the problem down the roster that I see. The first 25 guys are legit. And the reason I know from experience is I've had a couple teams throughout the years where I thought our starters were almost every bit as good as the Patriots outside of the quarterback. And you see once the season starts and people start to gradually go down, which is going to happen. There's an occasional lucky season where you only have like one guy that gets hurt. But you're going to have a couple guys go down, miss at least a month. What's behind him? And they don't have a lot behind a lot of these good players. They don't have solid guys you can depend on. So I'm concerned that once you get in the middle of the season and one of the tackles go down, one of the corners goes out, one of their pass rushers go out, one of 3 or 4 guys go out, what do they have behind them? And do you see that dip? I don't even count the quarterback. Obviously, most people are screwed if you weren't the Eagles the last couple of years when the quarterback goes down. So I don't even include that. But just certain positions, you go look at their roster, you're like, especially offensive line, one of them guys gets hurt. Ugly. What if Denzel Ward goes down for 2 months? That kind of thing. They still it takes time to build a roster. It takes 3 or 4 years. So they're going to have to get very lucky to me on the health front to make the playoffs. They're going to be good. They're going to have flashes. But I think to make the playoffs this year, because they're in a pretty good division too, the Bengals they have some of the worst luck. They really do. A.J. Green went down. The first lineman, Jonah Williams, goes down. So they're probably done. But Ravens and Steelers, I think I still have them as better teams than the Browns. Very close. Now, it's not. It's very close. But I think I'd still rank them ahead of the Browns. So I think I'm in the minority in that. But I told you the reasons why. I think the Browns' margin of error is small. They have to stay healthy. And like I said, the chances of that, to me, are slim. I've seen it happen, but we need to see how the NFL is. So I think that's all I got. A little bit of football talk for you. Finally got a PC pickup. I'm watching a Marino now. It's an immaculate, the acetate, 17 seasons on-card auto. We'll see if that goes too high, because I've mentioned that his stuff has went up, which is, that's a good thing. I have plenty of it. That's always a good thing, right? Your investment goes up. But the problem is when you're trying to buy it, sometimes the old, because I have a pretty, and I guess this is how I save money too. I am not one of those that gets in a bidding war with someone. I'm one of those, if I decide I want to bid on it, I don't even wait till the last second. I just go, hey, I'm willing to pay $160. I'll type in $160, and that's it. If it goes for $161, I'm out. That's just kind of how I am. I'm kind of stubborn, I guess, in that way. And there's a few cards I'm like, man, if I'd have bid a little more, I maybe could have won it. Now, you never know what the other guy's highest bid is going to be. But, Yeah, that's kind of how I do it. I don't play the last second game. I don't, like, oh, you know what, I really need this. And because I'm pretty like, hey, here's what I'm willing to pay for it. If it goes for that, great. If not, I let it go. So lately, I've been having to let it go. So I think I need to adjust my. If I want to continue to pick them up, I'm going to have to go about, because it seems like an example. Let's say something that used to go for 150 is now like 175. That's like an example. Like not huge, but 20, $25. And that's what it kind of seems is going on. And like a rare patch auto is about $50 more than what I could get it for, 2 years ago. So like I was watching one of the flawless patch autos I already had. And yeah, it went for like $52 more than I paid for mine 2 years ago, And I was like, So it's interesting. Like I said, it's a good thing. It means the market's good. For the good players, the market's good right now. So I would say it's actually definitely a seller's market right now. So if you have stuff you're hoarding that you don't really care about of good players, I'd sell them now. So a little tip, because cards are just like the stock market. And a lot of times, sometimes we'll follow the stock market. Just like last time when we had a dippage. This is a warning too. I'm seeing a lot of people doing it for monetary reasons, buying like the Prism Silvers and some of these like non-rare rookie cards that have, a pop of 300, 400 PSA 10s. I'm just warning you guys, that shit's going to tank when the market tanks. That's going to be the stuff that tanks, because it's not rare. I think a lot of people are going to be very disappointed if you're in it for the value. I'm not talking about collectors. We don't care. Like my Marino stuff could go down $20 or up $20. Doesn't really matter to me, But, and guys like him don't really fluctuate. But it's that lower end stuff that's actually selling really well. Like Prism Silvers make no sense of why those sell so well. There's a bunch of them. I have a feeling when the market tanks, that's the crap that's going to tank. So, just a little word of advice to be careful, because eventually, it's just the way the world works. Our market's going to tank. Again, go a little down spur again, and I think that's the stuff that's going to tank. Because there's a lot of stuff to me that doesn't make any sense that have, like, even graded, have really high pop reports. I'm like, it makes no sense it's selling the way it does. And I think that's the stuff that's going to tank. So the people buying that for monetary, thinking, oh, I'm going to sit on this, it's going to be worth even more in 3 years, I think you're going to be disappointed. But that's just my opinion. I would say be cautious. Just the way this world works, Now, again, you have, like I said, like Dan Marino, during the last economic downturn, his card stayed about the same. I mean, you have the nice premier stuff. That stuff's going to stay about the same. But it's that lower end stuff that's doing very well right now, especially graded, I think is going to tank. So I would just be cautious for you guys, because I see multiple people kind of doing that. So just use caution. Don't get yourself too deep into it to where if it does, you're in trouble. But that's just a little my word of advice. Just my 2 cents. But let's see. Oh, man, I almost got a 20-minute chat going, Dave Archer. What's up, buddy? I know the vid needed to be longer, so I'm trying here. Another thing, let's see. Oh, a lot of talk about modern versus vintage. I made a point on a guy's video. Because he was saying, what's more important or first of all, you collect what you like, okay? Whether you like the old stuff or the new stuff. But as we see, don't collect the old stuff because you think, oh, there's nothing wrong with that, or, we've seen that, right? Just collect it because you like it. Same with the modern stuff. But he's like, I want vintage. I was like, you realize in the 1950s when a guy hit a Mickey Mantle, He didn't go, oh, this is a nice vintage card. It was a modern card. So just think about 40 years from now, all the stuff we're calling modern is going to be vintage. So as collectors, where we don't plan on getting rid of it, your cards are all going to be vintage anyways. A lot of people don't think of that. Think about all the stuff now. When you're, let's say I'm 33, so let's say I make it to 75, Lord willing. All the cards I've got now are going to be vintage. So I guess I'm kind of collecting vintage. But, yeah, that's just a little food for thought people don't think of, I feel like. But that's all I got. I wasted enough of your guys' time, I think. So, bye-bye. I'm sure I'll be back again before the season starts. Maybe I'll win a Marino. We'll see. Bye-bye.